Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 on Benched. I'm your host, Jeff. My co-host, Nick.
Hello, everybody.
Man, it's been a wild week and a half. We didn't do our normal podcast on Monday. We were trying to get a little bit more stuff going on, and
Kind of a Super Bowl special, you could
yeah,
say.
like a before the Super Bowl kind of episode. And are you ready for the Super Bowl, Nick?
To be honest, I'm not, dude. I'm
Yeah,
not ready. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's COVID stuff or whatever, but I'm not feeling the hype around the Super Bowl. And I don't know if part of it's because me being the Ravens fan, the bad taste on the way
right.
we left the playoffs, if I just kind of but I followed the AFC Championship, NFC Championship game. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. It's not like it's two no-name teams either.
Right,
I
right,
mean,
right.
the Chiefs are the best team in the league. They've got arguably the hottest player in the league, Patrick Mahomes, on their
Yep.
team. The Bucks. I mean, the storylines there with Tom Brady going to. I mean, it's not like there isn't a great story
Right,
arc,
right,
and
right, right.
just for some reason, it doesn't feel like it's just. It doesn't feel like oh man, Super Bowl's ready.
Right. And it kind of makes me sad because usually Super Bowl, you get hyped around the Super Bowl because it's the
Yeah,
last game of the year, right?
yeah.
We didn't get a Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl, whatever they
Well,
put on
well,
was a
well.
joke.
Technically, we did. Technically, we did
Right.
get a Pro Bowl. Technically, we did. Whatever
Now,
embarrassment of a. I God, how do I even start to dissect this?
I do have to say, hold on. I do have to say, if it wasn't for Marshawn Lynch being there, I would have never watched as much as I did. He
Oh,
was
even
probably the only shining part about that was Marshawn
I.
Lynch.
I will say the following the day after, when I was at work on Monday, I realized, oh shit, the Pro Bowl was over this weekend. Let me see what's going on. I go to ESPN, and not even on the front page of ESPN was like any mention of the Pro Bowl. I had to
Right.
like go to the NFL tab and like go look like 3 articles down or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently, and I love Marshawn Lynch. I think he's a great personality. I love him, what he does. Like all the entertainment value of Marshawn Lynch is unfathomable. Like he needs a reality show
He really does.
immediately.
I need him and Peyton Manning together on a reality
Right?
show.
That would be good. That would be
Yeah.
good. But yeah, Pro Bowl. I would have liked to have seen him do a little something. I feel like if you're gonna have I don't want to hear these talks and concerns of COVID and all this stuff. If you're putting 30,000 fans into a stadium, the
100%.
the
100%.
following week down in Florida, and I know it's one of those things, state guidelines. You're going by, the local law. Okay, well then you move the Pro Bowl down to Florida and do it in the same location that you can for the Super Bowl and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying you need. I'm not even saying you need to have a bunch of fans come there and all that stuff. But I feel like the Pro Bowl is about the fans. It's the fans, the fans week pretty much where they get to see the players they want to see, competing in a sense. I
Yep.
would have been fine if you just invited a handful of, the top players that wanted to come down and do like some type of cool skills
Gills.
kind of competition, to where you bring like two or three young quarterbacks down and have them, throw the balls through the tires from 50 yards away and do the weird little, just the,
Yeah.
funny hit the moving targets or so. I don't know, whatever some of that stuff, have the running backs do the little drills, how fast they can go through the pads and the
Yeah.
obstacle course, all that, have what was it? I used to love seeing the wide receivers do those drills with the, like, you have to like catch, like spin around, the balls are coming at you,
Yeah.
and you do like, the quick
On the
180
jugs machine.
turns.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The jugs machine and all that stuff. Used to love seeing those.
Mm-hmm. There was one
Do,
year.
do a
I
little
remember.
something like that. You fucking
Yeah.
put people on Madden and try to
I know, right? And
get
it's
that
like,
shit, dude. I can go put on Twitch.
yeah.
I go watch Twitch. Half these NFL players stream on Twitch anyway.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Just
Yeah. I was
completely
very.
upset. Pro Bowl 0 out of 10.
I give it
Sorry to
a
interrupt you.
negative. I give it a
I'm
negative
just,
out of 10.
I'm just all worked up now thinking about the Pro Bowl
Yeah. I
and
give it a
how
negative out of
big of.
10.
Yeah, just don't do it at that point. Just don't do it. At that
Mm-hmm.
point, I would rather you just say, hey, due to the concerns of stuff, which I completely understand and support. If you are gonna play that card, I get that, but don't give me that as a reason. But then the next week have 30,000 fans come down to the
Right.
Super Bowl. That's completely. It's yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we
Not
did have
not a
yeah.
political podcast. Not get into that. Not
But
get
we
into that.
did but we did have some football this weekend though. We did have the Senior Bowl,
Yep.
right? Um I liked the senior. I watched the whole Senior Bowl, right? I watched the actual game and I watched the whole week before, and I was paying attention to a lot of the guys that are supposed to be drafted in the second round. Can they push themselves up into the first? There was a few. There was also one guy, I have to say, he didn't play in the game. He actually injured himself during practice, but he put on such a great practice that he went from being towards the tail end of the first round to arguably maybe even being a top 10 pick in the draft this year. And that's Mac Jones from
But I don't know. Practice, man. It's
dude,
practice, you know?
I'm telling you right now, he looked good. I mean, he
Yeah.
looked good, and if it wasn't for, I mean, he's I want to say he injured his ankle, and it was the outside of his ankle, and he said he could play, but if they didn't want him to get
Arrowhead side of
injured.
caution. You don't want to,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
this is
if you
this is the future of his career right
if
here.
you're already somewhat,
So
yeah, exactly. If you're already somewhat proven to be it's not like you have anything to prove to where you're some no name coming out of
yeah,
some no name school on the big stage for the first time, and So yeah, okay. Yeah,
there
I
was
didn't watch the
also
Senior Bowl. I'll be honest.
I
I didn't
think he
watch
was
the Senior
from
Bowl.
Louisville. I think he was from Louisville. Fitzpatrick, the receiver from Louisville, put on a good show. Beasted it during the game though. He looked really good in the game. Um, Another man, he got injured during practice as well. Let me see if I can remember. Miners, the offensive lineman from Whitewater, and he was I don't know. They had him projected going like seventh round, maybe undrafted. To where
Hmm.
now they're projecting him going. He practiced, dude. I'm talking about he was taking dudes that are projected to go in the first round, second round, and he was just putting them in the dirt, right? Like he was doing well, and then he injured himself as well during practice. And
See, I don't see.
but
I
his
don't
thing
like
though,
hearing this. I don't
but
like
that's the
hearing
thing
this,
though.
man.
That's the thing though is his team only played one game this year due to COVID, and
Okay.
he kind of became a YouTube star during practice.
Yeah.
Not during practice, but
You
throughout the
know.
season of him not playing, he put up videos of him
Hey.
working out.
Okay. Okay.
And but
Gotta
truthfully, people are talking about him going in the fourth now.
gotta stay healthy,
So
man. Gotta stay healthy.
yeah, I mean,
And it's a very unfortunate part of the game, but
yeah,
it's one of those things you can't be prone to injury, man. I
yeah.
can't see that on your that little asterisk.
But so I mean, we had some quarterbacks play. The quarterbacks that did play, I truthfully, a lot of them kind of hurt their cause.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it was fun watching the game. We got to see a lot of young. Of course, none of the guys that were projected to be first rounders played. Like I'm talking about like top 10 or anything like that.
Yeah.
Not they
Yeah.
don't want to hurt themselves, ruin their draft and stuff like that. But we did have
No
some of
surprise,
yeah.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't blame them.
we did have Senior Bowl. It was pretty interesting. But again, they played a game. I swear they were selling tickets to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings up the point, like you said, it's like back to the Pro Bowl. It's like if
Dude,
you're
it's wild.
willing,
I'll put on a hockey game and I'll see no one but the hockey players or ref
right?
and like four cameramen. Then the whole
Yeah.
stadium's. But and then I'll put on a football game and there's like 25,000 people in the stands. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'll just flip around to the TV. It's a wild world we live in right now. And I'll
It
see some
really is. It
UFC
really is.
events to where there's people all there. Then other UFC events, there's no
There's
one
no
there.
one
Dude,
there. Yeah. They
it's
don't allow the
wild.
wife and kids there. All of a sudden,
It
you'll
all
see the wife
depends
and
like
kid walking them down.
what what country you're in, what state in that country, what county in that country. It's like all these different, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wild because it's like, you'll be sitting in one county and then like literally across the street where like the state or county line is, it's like a whole nother set of rules to where
Yep.
like things are completely shut down across the street. But since you're technically in,
And
this
yeah.
zone or whatever, you're full. Yeah, it's
Now,
wild. It's wild.
We do have the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bucks, right? Man, I was a little worried seeing the news, the whole COVID thing, all the Chiefs and their scare with it, it's like, it seems the Super Bowl will be going on. And
Oh, dude, I have a feeling no matter what, dude, even if some of those, I mean, this is just totally conspiracy theory me, but like it, if any nameable players were positive, dude, that shit, it don't matter. Like,
it would have been swept under the rug.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes just be quarantined. They'd be out there. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's too much on. This is just too big of a game.
Right.
To be honest, I think it's going to be a boring game too.
You think so?
I think Tampa Bay is going to surprise the Chiefs, dude. I think the Chiefs have been on cruise control most of the season, man. They've been, I don't know. I feel like they've gotten lucky too many times this year.
I do too. They should have lost a few of those games. I know they should have lost to the Chargers. They should have lost to the Broncos. They should have lost to the Raiders the second time, And that's just in their division.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, granted, it's not like Tampa Bay's played perfect football.
Right.
They haven't, gotten super. I mean, to get to the Super Bowl, you got to have a couple of lucky breaks in your way. No one's going to get to the Super Bowl.
The ball's got to go your way. The ball has to go your way at least a couple times.
Exactly. So I have a real good. I mean, a lot of people are favoring the Chiefs. That I mean, I don't know what the talking heads have really picked and all that stuff, but I hear a lot of talk about the Chiefs being favored and all that. And I'm thinking Tampa Bay's gonna come out here and surprise a couple people here. Good old Tommy boy.
Truthfully, like I said, the last episode we did, I picked the Bucks to win. I'm sticking with it. I think the Bucks are gonna take it. I really do. After what I saw,
Tom Brady, I heard Antonio Brown, or I read rather, Antonio Brown's still questionable. I don't think he's going to play, but it's going to be a good game. I think defense is going to be. Obviously, defense is going to be the biggest factor. I feel like who's going to be able to stop who. Bruce Arians' high-powered offense. The what's his name?
Andy Reid.
Both great smart head coaches. Got brilliant. Both have brilliant minds. A quarterback. They're going to be able. Defense. I feel like it's going to come over to who's the turnover. Turnovers are it.
Right.
I feel like
if
Tampa Bay doesn't turn the ball over, I feel like they win. If Brady starts throwing those, if Brady has 2 interceptions,
like he did,
Chiefs are going to win it.
Yeah, the Chiefs. I believe deep down, the Chiefs are the one team you cannot turn the ball over to and expect to win.
No, because turning the ball over the Chiefs is pretty much just giving them a guaranteed 3 points minimum. I feel like the
kicker doesn't miss. The kicker doesn't miss.
No, solid kicker.
And I'm talking about anything over 50. He makes majority of his 50 to 55 yarders all the time.
I wonder what the Chiefs contract situation looks like on that. I wonder how many of those players are going to be around next year. Like how many? I mean, we know Patrick Mahomes is locked in until he's going to get buried at Arrowhead Stadium. I think that's in his.
They're going to have a shrine. His tomb is going to be built into the stadium.
Underneath the 50-yard line is where, until he's no longer able to breathe, he is part of the Kansas City Chiefs organization. Which I don't blame him. They locked him down.
Yeah.
Well deserved. He's your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep him. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game. Commercials. I'm looking forward to the commercials.
I'm super sad that half of them aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bittersweet sadness because it's kind of like it's because they're donating the millions of dollars to instead of paying for a commercial for they're putting it towards COVID relief efforts and all that. So kudos to that and all that. But still, I feel like to some of those companies, $1 million is
right. Like whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where Bud Light's not doing the the typical Bud Light the Clydesdale commercial or whatever, but they're still doing a Bud Light and a Bud Light seltzer and all these other Bud Light and Budweiser based commercials. So it's still I don't know.
I guess it costs a lot to have the horses in there,
Yeah. Um, who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm in your boat. I know the Super Bowl is this weekend. Am I super excited for it? No. Am I sad because I know it's the last game and I should be hyped for it? Yes. You know, but I don't know. I like I said, it's gonna be fun to watch. I truthfully, I'm in the opposite boat. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good amount of points scored.
Mhm.
I think yeah, I think both teams are gonna come out swinging, and I really do I do expect a lot of points to be put up.
Really, you think it's going to be a really high scoring game? Are you thinking like 40
No, no.
points above each, or are you thinking like
I'm
you know?
thinking mid 30s, maybe low 40s, at least for one team, and then
Okay,
the other team mid 30s, low or high 20s, depending on that.
okay, okay.
I
We'll
think,
see.
yeah.
We'll
But
see.
we
I
did
think
have
Tampa
some.
Bay's going to. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say. Yeah, I think Tampa Bay's going to win it. It's going to be like a 31-21 type game.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes just isn't going to. It's super hard to repeat the Super Bowl. It's super hard.
unless you're TB12.
Unless you're TB12, yeah. I mean, and I don't know. I just think it's fucking Tom Brady, man.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
Tom
think?
Brady.
Do you think he has a favorite ring at this point, or are they all just the
Oh
same
yeah.
now?
Oh yeah. No, no. I mean, I couldn't tell you which one it was, but I'm sure there's one ring there that's sweeter than most because there was probably something one season that just
Yeah.
some adversity, whether it be personal or something within the team or something could have been one of those years when they were all the cheating shit was going on or something.
Right.
And they still won. And, who knows? Who knows?
But we also had some other football news this weekend. Um, we
Jared
had
Goff.
we had some quarterbacks
Yeah.
change hometowns there, teams that they're
Hmm.
playing for. But we had Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford in a trade, and it was pretty blockbuster. It was a pretty big trade. Um, yeah. So Jared Goff went to the Lions, and the Lions sent Matthew Stafford to the Rams.
I think both teams lost in that trade.
I think the Rams are a little bit above than the Lions. I think the Rams got out a little bit more than the Lions did. And I'm just saying because what was it? I have my positives and negatives over here, right? So the Lions, they inherit Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff's
Jared Goff.
106 million remaining, right?
Yeah.
So um
They also paid Matt Stafford a shit ton for a while.
yeah,
Didn't
well,
they?
so that's the thing though. Is Jared Goff has 43 million in fully guaranteed money left on the deal, right? 25 in
Mhm.
base salary for 2021, a 2.5 roster bonus due on the second day of 2021 of the league, right, which is March I think 3rd or something like that, and another 15.5 million dollar roster bonus due on the second day of the 2022 season, right? So they have to pay him just the roster bonus for the next 2 years, 18 million
Mm.
just for the roster bonus, right? So the Rams inherited the 2-year, 43 million remaining on Matthew Stafford's contract, right? And the Lions are actually going to carry the dead cap for that.
Really?
Yeah. And so the Lions inherited 4 years, 106 million on Jared Goff's contract, and the Rams will carry the 22 million of dead cap for 2021. Right? So here are a few of my positive and negatives, right? So the Rams, I believe that they did kind of upgrade in quarterback, right? And when I say that, Jared Goff doesn't have the strongest arm. But I think the playbook was kind of cut in half, right? We rarely saw any deep passes thrown from Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford allows you to do that now, right? But here's the most interesting stat that I think comes from this whole trade, right? So the Rams, of course, I believe they got better at quarterback, but they cleared 2.4 million in 21, right? So they
Okay.
cleared 2.4 million in 2021 off the The second year, they will clear 32.3 million. So that is literally just cleared money that they don't have to worry about now. 32 million, right? So I believe 2022 will be that big year where they go and, could be a pretty big free agency year for the Rams. I mean, they eat this whole first year of the Goff Stafford trade. Next year, I mean...
How old Stafford?
How old? He's in his 30s. I think he's 32, 33.
Okay.
Maybe 34.
That's what I was going to say. I thought he was up there.
But,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I do have to say, the negatives for this, the Rams will not have a first-round draft pick until 2024. And they haven't had one since they drafted Goff. Right? And to me, I don't know. To me, that just doesn't seem like you're rebuilding the team.
No.
So
I wish they would get rid of the salary cap stuff in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine, though?
How wild would that be?
Dude, you'd have fucking one team with you'd have the Yankees and the Dodgers in the NFL.
What? So I mean, what? It's not like these owners aren't billion. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like I hear this argument all the time about it's like, oh well, the Yankees and the Dodgers just. It's like, okay, they want to win,
right?
So of course, if you want to win, why wouldn't you want to get the best players to win? There's a certain it's not like these price tags have been set by throughout the years, certain players and just like in the NFL, how like quarterbacks nowadays you're signing over $100 million quarterback $100 million contracts.
Remember when they were doing that for rookies though? Jamarcus Russell came out and never played an NFL game and got a $70 million contract.
It's just wild, it's wild. And I mean, I would just love to see the NFL to where if there wasn't or they made it something ridiculous to where it's like $500 million or something. Like something.
Truthfully, I wouldn't mind $500 million.
I would just love to see that to where it's like money to where I mean, you could just make these like super teams kind of. I mean, it would suck for some teams, but it's like, okay, well then, do you want to win or not? I mean, it's. I mean,
because at the end of the day, if everyone has $500 million. Or something like that, and you don't have a super team, whose fault is that? I mean,
don't tell me the money's not there. This is like a multi-billion-dollar a year business, and these people, these I wouldn't say these people. It sounds like a different, but I mean these people are out there, it's their livelihood, their job, for their bodies out there on the line. I mean, I think they deserve every penny.
I do too.
I would just love to see no salary cap, just let it fucking go.
See a team with Patrick Mahomes, Julio Jones,
dude, Patrick Mahomes signing a $35 million a year contract, to play.
Freaking out there being a Madden Mutt team where you have all the superstars on one team and stuff.
I mean, technically, you could. I mean, you could have friends come. I mean, just think about Tom Brady pulling people in, and all that stuff.
Imagine how much pull he would have if he had no salary cap. Jesus.
Or to where or give me to where there's a limit to the biggest put a cap on the biggest there's no cap on how many big contracts you can sign, but the biggest contract you can sign is 5 years, $200 million. That's the biggest contract a player is a team's allowed to sign a player for. It's 5 years, $200 million or something like that.
Doesn't the NBA have kind of something like that? I don't remember.
I have no idea. I just know how baseball and NFL salary caps kind of work and all that stuff. I know NBA has some pretty wild salaries out there though.
Yeah.
Because I know the NBA, I've seen stuff to where you look at some of the salaries for the teams and there's 3 people that make $40 million a year. Yeah. And then everybody else is
$2 million.
2 to 5 million or something like that.
2.5. Well, so we had, that big trade happen this weekend. And then I started seeing the stuff with the potential Deshaun Watson trades. What do you think about that? What do you think about what the Texans would want from him?
No, not happening.
2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and 2 defensive players.
No.
That is crazy. No. That is, dude.
What
I don't think so.
what did you hear the little like 48, 72 hour rumor about Andrew Luck coming back? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I like Andrew Luck though. I always thought he would come back. I always thought he was gonna take a year off, recoup a little bit, then get bored and come back and play football.
No, he had some injuries and stuff,
Yeah,
man. He had
I
that
I
quality of
think
life.
yeah I think and
I think.
me as a Cowboys fan, it hurt when I saw Travis Fredericks retire. Our
Yeah.
center, because he had a lot of football left under his legs. But he had that nerve injury in his neck, and so he came back. He tried to play another year, and he just didn't feel right, and he retired. And I have no problem with him retiring due to to keep his quality of life going.
Yeah, no,
Because at
yeah,
the end
no,
of the
not at all.
day, there's nothing more important in this world than you and your health, and
Yeah, being able to, yeah, you provide for your family and all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, you want to be
exactly,
able to, it's not worth being in a wheelchair the rest of your life if,
right.
for an extra, yeah, no.
What do you think of my boy Jason Witten, new career choice?
What's he doing?
He's now the head coach of
Oh
a
God.
Dallas Fort Worth, or is it Dallas Fort Worth? A high school team. He's the head coach of a high school
Why?
team now.
Why?
Right.
Why?
What
Why?
would he want to do though? I mean, he tried to throw his hand
Why?
in and commentate. I don't know if he was too hot at that.
Is it like his kid playing down there or
I don't
something?
know.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like why wouldn't he coach in the NFL?
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe maybe this is like the path you usually take if you want to get a
yeah,
coaching gig in the
I
NFL. But
know.
I
I
feel like Jason Witten could get like some assistant coaching, but maybe he
right.
doesn't want some assistant. I don't know.
I don't know. But I thought it was neat,
Interesting.
interesting. He
Hmm.
signed the 1 day contract to retire as a Cowboy. So 82. I salute you. Thank you for the wonderful years. And yeah, but
You're gonna have your draft stuff up pretty soon too, right? We're
I am
sneaking towards
I
NFL draft
am
season,
working
so
on
you're gonna
that.
have your big draft.
I am working on that as we speak. It's a lot harder because you got these teams now switching
Yeah,
players
well, yeah.
around.
As
So
these trades come
I
through and all
was
this
I was
stuff, yeah,
about to
it's
put
like,
out a draft
oh,
video, and all of a sudden this trade come out. And I'm like, oh, well,
what?
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's like,
changes everything. Yeah.
but I'm gonna be working on that. Like I said, I'm sad. I've been sad that there's no combine. I can't talk Nick's ear off about it anymore for this year, so kind of really bums me out. But I guess we'll wait and see for pro days. Um, anything else?
What? Oh, well, we got the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight coming up
Yeah.
real quick. What do you think about that? It's pretty interesting.
Uh, you
Seven
know,
round professional fight, no
7
headgear.
rounds, really,
Seven, 7
7 rounds.
round.
Truthfully,
I believe it's 7 rounds.
truthfully, I was all like, I had no belief that Jake Paul was gonna win this fight, and then
You
Jorge,
saw who he was getting.
yeah, it's who
Yeah,
he's getting coached by, and I'm like,
Jorge
oh,
Masvidal.
well,
Yeah,
yep,
the guy who
who knocked out his opponent in the
knocked out
fastest
Ben Askren with the flying knee,
flying knee
fastest
to,
knockout in
yep.
UFC history. Yeah.
So now I'm a little like, he's
But
gonna
again, but you
learn.
can't. But UFC fights different than a
Then a boxing match,
boxing fight.
yeah, that
And
is
and
true,
again, I don't know if that favors Jake Paul because I don't
right?
know if I don't know
Because
if Ben
isn't
Askren's
yeah,
had
isn't
straight. I mean,
Askren's isn't he like a just like
well,
a
he's like
world
a
like a
two-time
two-time
NCAA champion
yeah
wrestler, like an
wrestler,
Olympic wrestling Hall of Fame Heisman Trophy winner wrestling.
yeah,
Huge grappling guy, not known for his striking predominantly. So I mean, but still though, it's like Ben Askren's, Jake Paul. I know he had a little bit of wrestling in high school and all that,
right.
and he's been boxing, training for 2 years now or whatever.
And to be fair, he has put on some muscle.
I mean,
And
don't get me wrong. I don't think Jake Paul is one of these guys that's just like taken off the street and just trying to box. I mean, he has
yeah,
good. I mean, he has good form. He looked good at the ring against Nate Robinson. It's just it's it's a different animal going
it
in there
really
against
is
someone
against someone who's
who's
a
literally
fighter.
he's yeah Ben Askren's a fighter. He's been in there with some of these big name UFC
Hmm.
guys and all this stuff, and he's had I still don't think Jake Paul's really been punched in the face, so to say.
Right, right.
you fought another YouTuber, then you fought Nate Robinson, and not to take anything away from Nate Robinson because he probably beat my ass, but I don't think Nate Robinson is known as a vicious,
Vicious,
heavy-handed puncher.
heavy-handing
Someone
thrower.
who's
Yeah.
been, he trained. I think Jake Paul had more training because he trained prior to the Nate Robinson because he had to
Right.
fight before the Nate Robinson
I
fight.
think
Yeah,
Nate
he had.
Robinson only had 3 months to train or something like that.
So
He
this
only
is, I mean, and it's still pretty wild that this is a slippery slope for Jake Paul too because if he beats Ben Askren, then he's gonna really step into the world of the fight after that would be
yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, he would fight like a Nate because I heard something that Nate Diaz really wants to fight
God,
Jake
please,
Paul,
please let Nate Diaz
but Nate Diaz has 2 fights left on his
right
UFC
on his UFC
contract.
contract, so
And
he can't.
apparently, like
Yeah.
Dana White hates Jake Paul and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And apparently, since there's the 2 fights on the UFC contract, he can't go against his contract and fight for some other promotion and all this stuff or
Yep.
whatever. So there's all that talk going on. But
God, please let Nate Diaz fight him.
So if Jake Paul beats Ben Askren, then his next fight's going to be against someone because people will
Yes.
probably say, "Oh, well, Ben Askren was like a wrestler. He's not really a boxer." And all.
Right.
I mean, I feel like this is more of a lose-lose for Jake Paul than anything because
Right, because it's what I always say. If he wins, they're gonna be like, oh well, you didn't beat an actual fighter. Like you didn't beat someone who throws hands. He was a wrestler type of thing. If he loses, then it's gonna be like, look what happened. You lost to a fighter.
And I will say credit to Jake Paul because it's not like he's not calling people out and all. I
Right.
mean, he is looking for the fights. It's not like he's hand picking these, because it's
Right,
kind of like
right.
with the somewhat like I feel like this is kind of a stretch, but like with the NFL schedule, people are like, oh, you're an 8-0 team, but you've only beaten,
Right,
Like, it's
right.
like, well, you can only beat who's putting in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You're undefeated and you played the NFC East.
yeah, and it's like, well, okay, then we didn't choose our schedule. It's not like we handpicked these teams. We're just playing who's in front of us,
Right.
So again, I feel like somewhat of a credit to Jake Paul to where it's like he's somewhat picked his fights, but at the same time, he has called out some of these other
Right.
big name fighters and all that stuff, and a lot of them have ignored him, rightfully so, because it's it's not like Jake Paul has
Right.
any credit under his belt. It's more of a risk for Conor McGregor to fight Jake Paul.
Right,
Than,
exactly.
because if Conor loses, I mean, it's Conor. There is no win for that because he's supposed to win that and knock him out
Yeah.
in the first 30 seconds. And if he doesn't, then it's like, oh shit.
Right. But yeah, so I mean,
I don't know. So I think Jake Paul's going to lose 4th round body shot because Ben Askren has the training.
Yeah. I think it only
He's
makes it
going
to
the
3.
distance. He has the stamina and all
I
that
think it only
stuff
goes
to
to
make
3.
it last. Yeah. And once Jake Paul starts getting hit and those body shots start adding up, he's
Like
gonna crumble.
Mike Tyson said, once they get hit
Everybody
in the face,
has a plan.
Yep. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
I love Mike Tyson. I really do. I was watching a lot of his YouTube videos, like the last days with Muhammad Ali and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh man, like
I can't think of anything. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just rambling on about the whole Mike Tyson thing. I watched a video documentary where they were talking about not Buster Douglas. He beat Ali, took the belt, was bragging about beating Ali. Ali told Tyson, this was when Tyson was up and coming, And
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And ended up beating him
knocking him down 3 times. But it was just a ramble on about how much I love Mike Tyson.
All right, old man, wrap it up. Wrap it up, old man.
But so yeah,
all right, Grandpa.
NFL, or we got Super Bowl this weekend. Do we have any fights this weekend?
No real fights.
No real fights this weekend. Yeah, pretty much it. I mean,
yeah.
Hockey's
we'll see you guys in a couple of days. Yeah.
I'm still watching hockey. Just letting you guys all know that. Watching the Kings game the other day. Where they won in I think it was in a shootout. I still love the whole shootout complex. Like I just love that whole part of the game. I wish all games were just shootouts. That's so much fun to watch. It really is. But yeah. Watching that. Trying to watch a little bit of golf, but I don't think I have the same passion that Nick here has for golf.
You don't.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I don't. I didn't start,
All right.
all that stuff till later. But yeah,
All
so
right, Rambler.
yeah. I'm picking the Bucks. I'm going in
Yeah,
on it
we'll have
right
a
now. Picking the
we'll
Bucks.
have a we'll have a lot to dissect Monday night after the
Monday
Super
night.
Bowl.
Yeah, it's gonna be
From
fun. Monday
from
night.
commercials to penalties to everything, I'm sure.
Oh, imagine a controversial penalty deciding the Super Bowl. Woo.
All right.
All right, that's gonna be it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you're watching it on YouTube, you can also watch or listen to it on Spotify, and vice versa. If you're on Spotify, you can check us out on YouTube. It has been my pleasure. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Y'all be safe this weekend. Y'all take it easy. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.